Welcoming traveler. Get ready to level up in fantasy football.
Adventurers and space folk. It is a lovely crossover episode with the fantasy football universe. I am joined as always by my co-host Evan. Evan, what's poppin'?
Hey, Mike. Good to see you. As always, celebrating my birthday here on the pod with you. So,
where else would you rather be than talking about football and hanging out with none other than Jesse Moeller? Jesse, how are you?
Well, thank you. I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to join you guys on the show. It's been a long time coming. I know we had a little crossover last year with the fun stuff we were doing with Aaron, but never officially been on the RPG. And by the way, happy birthday, Evan. I hope you're enjoying your birthday. It's always fun, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We went out to lunch at work, and it's been a good time.
Nice. He is now unbuyable as a running back, so I'm sorry you're over the age cliff. That's tough.
Welcome to the age time.
Yeah, it's tough in these streets. Jesse, take a second, tell people where to find you, what you're up to, what you work on.
All right, you can see on the bottom of the screen, JMoeller05. If you're curious to find me on any social media platform, I'm on all of them. So just type that in. You will find me on any one of those. But a couple of months ago, myself, Aaron St. Dennis, Jeremy Schulman, and SC Romero all started the Fantasy Football Universe. That's where all our written and video work content is at. So if you want to look it up, go to fantasyfootballuniverse.com. You can see we've done upwards of 100 rookie profiles. We're diving into mock drafts, doing all the fun stuff. So anywhere you're curious to find us, just look at the Fantasy Football Universe.
Sweet. And, he didn't load in yet, so we'll just keep talking. We are going to open up with a very, very important question for a football podcast. What is your favorite non-football sport? Evan, take the lead.
Yeah, it's always been baseball. Played baseball growing up, through high school, travel ball, did all of that, pitch, catch. I was one of those rare people that played both positions. So my knees are shot and my shoulders shot. So yeah, there's a lot of things that ail already, only being 29.
Yeah, it's just a path to injury and to long-term pain. Real quick, everybody, Preston just hopped in. So Preston, what's going on, brother?
Hey,
okay, never mind. Good. We're excited to have you. You want to tell people where they can find you, what you're working on, stuff like that?
Yeah, y'all can catch me. I'm a content creator for Fantasy and Football and Fantasy and Frames family, and I also do a couple articles on Last Word on Sports. You can catch a lot of my stuff there.
Heck yeah!
How y'all, fellas?
We're good. We're talking about our favorite non-football sport. You want to jump ahead of Jesse real quick?
Well, it would have to be basketball.
Okay. What's your favorite team?
Sport. Favorite team? I don't have one. My favorite player growing up was Penny Hardaway, and my daughter is in the AAU basketball, so we spend a lot of time doing that. And her favorite player is Kobe. Rest in peace.
She's got good taste. I appreciate that. All right, Jesse, what's your favorite non-football sport?
So I'm going to give a shout out to Little Penny real quick. If anybody's old enough to remember those commercials, those were bangers in the 90s.
Those were funny.
I know. I can tell I'm aging out because I start bringing it up to people, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm like, I'm getting too old for this. But I played all sports growing up, but baseball. I played baseball in college, so I have quite a connection to that. We went down to Missouri Valley, played that for a while. So did that, blew out my shoulder, came back, So now I'm just dealing with the repercussions like Emma was talking about. Old age plus injuries, let me tell you, it's the good life. It's the good life.
Yep. That's why when we're talking about Keenan Allen playing at the ripe old age of 32, probably coming up on him. But let's dive into our next segment.
And now it's time for news and notes.
Cool. As of today, Jerry Jeudy has been extended for 3 years and way too much money for a receiver that has never eclipsed 750 yards or about 750 yards every year. He is kind of overpaid, in my opinion. Jesse, real quick, what would you pay for Jerry Jeudy in Dynasty right now?
I mean, if you want to give me talk late second range picks, sure, I'll have interest because just comparing it to the players going in that range, I'm not that interested. That's kind of the fifth tier of the rookie draft where I'm kind of like, meh, maybe these guys will hit more than you want. So, yeah, we'll talk late second. I'm in there. We could do that.
Okay, word. Preston, is this going to help Deshaun Watson or hurt Deshaun Watson?
Well, y'all know I've been a Deshaun Watson truther ever since he got to the Browns. I'm waiting on it. They're giving him pieces, and I think this is going to help him. I'm standing on it. I like Jared Judy in this offense. I think he needed to get away from Denver.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Denver was tough in the streets last year, but cool. I think that's enough Jerry Judy talk. I'm personally not interested in any fantasy football sense,
No,
but I
let's keep
guess
talking about him.
you want to. What are your thoughts on Jerry Judy?
Look, let me tell you. He just got paid too, didn't he? They just paid him, right?
Yep.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I came in on that when y'all was talking about that.
I think your internet is struggling right now.
Solid number 2 right behind Amari to being great. And let's go. I picked him up in our charity league.
Yeah, you did. I saw
the
that
charity league you had going on, Mike.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah. That's good. And hey,
quick let's go.
Quick shout out to people at home.
Judy,
if you got extra money burning a hole in your pocket, donate it to a local shelter, and then you can go into the Got That Dog in best ball. So fun league. Cool. Other news, we got the Vikings acquiring the 23rd overall pick and the 232nd pick for the 42nd, 25th, 25-second, and 188 in this year's draft. Evan, why would they do that?
I mean, it's pretty clear. Minnesota wants a quarterback. They're trying to get whatever ammo they can to be able to trade up. There's been plenty of rumors floated out there that they're trying to move up to 5 because the Cardinals seem pretty solidified with going Marv. Whether those rumors are true or not, 5 should be theoretically a little bit cheaper. But, I mean, it seems pretty foregone at this point that JJ's the quarterback that they're going after unless one of them unexpectedly slides. But as of right now, top 3 are supposed to be quarterbacks. So we'll see how it floats out.
Yeah. I feel like we say this every year, but this year it feels almost real. I know as I'm going through my quarterback evaluations, like I actually like the top 4 guys, which I normally have one that I see giant red flags with. So Jesse, do you think that JJ McCarthy is the right pick if he's there at 5?
At 5, I mean, yeah, if they trade up and get him, sure. I would feel much more comfortable at 11. Let me tell you what. If I can get him at 11, you don't have to move up. That saves you all the ammo, and then you could add another like a nice piece of defensive end, or they need a corner, go from there at 23. But yeah, I mean, if you're trading up, that's their guy. So go get your guy if he's the guy you're comfortable with, and the tools are there. It's just like he's such a just mystery box because he wasn't asked to do anything in college.
Yeah.
As I told Mike before the show, I was working on some offensive line content, and their interior offensive line, when you look at how they grade it out, is putrid. Just absolutely putrid. They have tackles, and that's about it. So whatever quarterback they have better be able to move a little bit just to survive for a year.
Yeah. It would also be hilarious. So going from Michigan, where he once threw 9 passes in a win, to Minnesota, who was throwing 40 passes a game with the Pastronaut, like going from such low volume to such high volume, even if he does have all the tools and like is kind of ready, it's going to be a shock to the system. So I'm excited to see how it plays out, if it plays out that way.
Me too.
In other news and notes, we have Keenan Allen acquired for a 4th-round pick from the Chargers. Evan, what would you buy Keenan Allen for in Dynasty?
Considering I think he has the same target depth as Cole Kmet, and they're going to operate in the same space, and DJ Moore is probably going to be the deep and intermediate threat, still the number 1 wide receiver, and they're probably going to have a rookie quarterback, even if it is Caleb Williams, let's say a late second. So
you made that
probably
sound
not
really sad.
I'm probably not getting any Keenan Allen for a late second.
Yeah. It would take a really big year from Caleb Williams, which is in the range of outcomes, but like the impact of rookie quarterbacks on their fantasy football assets, they can't go understated. What CJ Stroud did is an outlier. What Will Levis and Bryce Young did is the norm. So a little worried about that. Jesse, do you have any thoughts on the acquisition?
Yeah, I think it hurts Cole Kmet more than anything else because like you're bringing someone who's been a high-end targeter his entire career, and Cole Kmet, who I know people are kind of iffy on my thought process was like Cole Kmet's dead. Like Keenan Allen's eating up all those targets, right? So I think Caleb Williams can support those two. I very much worry about Cole Kmet moving forward.
Yeah. It's probably an offense that I'm not going to have as much of as I'd like to, but there's just a lot of guys that are getting a lot of hype because of the Caleb train, because of the excitement, because fans are going to get on board. And once the normies come around to redraft, it's just who have they heard of? And they've heard of Keenan Allen.
I think the better question is, does Keenan Allen impact your view on DJ Moore?
It knocks him a little bit, but not enough that I'm worried about it in Dynasty. In redraft, like I'm going to knock him down a couple of pegs. But Dynasty, like I still think the talent's there. He's tied to a great quarterback for the foreseeable future. I think there's a lot to like there. So
the upside shot's there. Like if Caleb Williams hits, like we're talking about, like he'll be able to support both those guys. It is kind of a question mark, right?
All right. The Steelers traded Kenny Pickett to the Eagles to move up 22 spots. That is hilarious. That is not what we expected when they took him 20 overall. That is not what we wanted to see. But it could be worse. Evan, is Kenny Pickett going to play any meaningful minutes this game or this year?
Hopefully not, because if he does, that means Jalen Hurts got hurt, which is not a good thing for any Eagles fan out there. Maybe he'll end up playing the last game of the year. Who knows? But if that's the case, once again, pretty clear backup in my opinion. And having a first-round quarterback as a backup seems to be pretty norm in the league these days, if they've been very mid their entire career.
Yep. I think Big already said it best here. Kenny will not play. So that's unfortunate. But you know who traded less to go get a better quarterback? I'm fired up. I'm so excited. Too bad he's probably gonna fight in a quarterback battle for a team that wins on defense and running the ball. But if you were designing a quarterback to run Arthur Smith's system, it's kind of Justin Fields or like a younger Russell Wilson. So I think there's a lot to like there. We'll see what's going on. He was acquired for a conditional 6-rounder, so there's no tie from the team. At the same time, like Russ was signed to a veteran minimum contract, so there's no tie to the team there. I know they say that Russ is the starter, but I guarantee week 1 of the preseason, fans are going to be screaming, "Where's Justin?" And I am so excited. Jesse, talk me out of this. Why is Justin Fields going to flame out?
Well, it's his passing. It's always been his issue, like his accuracy, his ability to continually like let his weapons lead them in passing. It's just that's the whole issue with him. He takes so many sacks, he holds onto the ball, and this is the difference between someone like him and the greatest quarterback alive, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes will scramble, but he won't take the sacks, and he doesn't take the negative plays. So if Caleb Williams can ever get that out of his product, which he did in college, Justin Fields, which he did in college, and it translated over because it was a bad offensive line and all that stuff worked out. But we saw Tyson Bagent; he immediately cut down the sacks, all the negative plays when he came in. So like you got to get someone in there that can help develop him as a quarterback because the talent's clearly there. It's just like there's this giant portion of his game that needs to be improved. If you can get it fixed, then you're working with something. But yeah, if he can, like he was best in play action last year, which is what Arthur Smith thrives in. So if they could get that working and go from there, like there's something to build on. And like 6th round, it's like, why the heck not, right? He's way better than anybody else you're going to get that cost.
Yeah. It was pretty damning for Justin Fields when Tyson Bagent came in and like immediate cut down on all of the negative plays. And, like he went from playing against the Colorado School of Mines to being a serviceable NFL quarterback, and not great. But I haven't watched a fun Steelers offense since I graduated college. So I'm excited for fun again.
Yes, I like that.
Evan, would you buy Justin Fields for the 202?
No.
Would you buy Justin Fields for the 206?
No.
So the line's like 208.
I've been saying 209 is my threshold.
Okay.
Like if I can get him cheaper than that, sure, I'll take a flyer. I mean, I'm fully expecting to only get 2-3 games out of him this year.
Okay.
Anything more is just icing on the cake, in my opinion. When he plays, I think you fully expect the rushing upside to
Mhm.
carry him from a fantasy production standpoint. So if I can invest a late second, early third to be able to get 2 games out of a fantasy producer that's going to get me top 15 games, I'm there.
Yeah. It's not often that you have an auto start backup quarterback for fantasy football that the moment that they're playing, you're like, I got to plug Justin Fields into my lineup. But no, that's exciting. Anybody have any other news, or do you guys want to go over the meat and potatoes, which is the free agency recap and some quarterback talk?
We go to meat potatoes as well.
All right.
Let's get into the meat and potatoes.
I'd like to thank our co-hosts, the Goblins. They do a great job. All right. First and foremost, and this is the most exciting one, Marquise Hollywood Brown on the Chiefs, 1 year, $11 million. Jesse, is he a thing? Is this going to be a thing?
It all depends what your definition of a thing is, but yeah, like he gives them the vertical threat from the slot. Like Rashee Rice was living a lot more underneath. He can come into the slot and he can go deep. Like they really need that, and that's what they're trying to get because they have the MVSs, the Justin Watson, all these guys that just run deep wind sprints. Marquise Hollywood Brown can actually go deep down the field, and Rashee Rice is going to live underneath. So I'm curious how those two are deployed with each other because Hollywood's been inside, he's been outside in his career, but he gives them something better on the field. And you have Kelsey kind of, slowly tapering off, but still being a target gunner. So I don't know how he's going to support all three of those assets, but I mean, compared to this year to last year, it's like at least there's a shot for him, guys, like to actually be a top 24 wide receiver.
Yeah. I guess it's great news for Patrick Mahomes. Like the deep shots might be back. The yardage might go up a little bit. Like trying to rely on Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore to play meaningful snaps was just not working for them. Mm-hmm. Preston, what would you buy Hollywood Brown for in Dynasty?
In Dynasty, fifth or sixth round. That's where he's probably going, right?
In the startup draft?
Yeah, in startups. He's probably going around fifth, sixth, right? So I give up a second for him because I have to see it. Maybe a second or a third.
Yeah. It's interesting because we saw somebody that was really involved in a lot of offenses early on, dealt with some injuries. We've kind of forgotten about him, and now he lands on the Chiefs. And normally that's immediately everyone's like, oh my gosh, receiver on the Chiefs. But I feel like we've all been burned already, so we're kind of like slow playing this one. It's not the Kadarius Toney show again where we're over the moon.
Cool. But he's pretty good though. I don't know. Yeah, a high second. I'll give up a high second for him. Yeah.
Okay, we can rock with that.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Curtis Samuel. Oh, did you want to say more about Hollywood, Evan?
Well, I was just going to say, we started talking about ADP here, so I got curious. Dynasty Data Labs, which I'm pretty sure is Adiko's new site that he scrapes from Sleeper, right now in a sample size of 138 drafts that have been scraped so far this season. Hollywood was going in the 11th round, early 11th, and with the signing to the Chiefs, he's bumped up to a 9th round.
Okay. I think, can you name a couple other receivers that are in that range?
Jameson Williams, Deontay Johnson, Calvin Ridley, Keenan Allen.
Okay, give me Deontay, and Deontay all of the times.
Yeah, 100%.
So
cool. All right, good to know. But that sounds like an early second range that you'd be sending picks for anyway, so that makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. Next up, Curtis Samuel on the Bills. Hilarious pairing that I was not ready to read at any point. You've got a gadget guy who can also earn targets, who feels like a running back, but also this is just another weapon for Josh Allen, which I love. Is he going to be a top 30 wide receiver in fantasy? Is he going to be top 36? Like, Jesse, where do you think that he's going to fall out at?
I wouldn't bet on it, honestly. I mean, I like his skill set, and Joe Brady was his OC in Carolina, so there is a connection. That's why he brought him over to play that role. It's interesting. Him and Shakir both are primarily slot guys. They're both above 50% throughout their entire careers. It's just Curtis Samuel is a more dynamic player than Khalil Shakir. So I think what you're doing is you're bringing him to replace him and kind of give more to that offense to somebody who you can, give a run here or there. You give him a little toss. You find ways to get him the ball because that offense needs playmakers. Like it's, they have a bunch of young pieces with Cook, Kincaid, Diggs is still good, but they need another guy who can give them, like a 3rd and 5, you hit a little guy on a quick little slant. That's Curtis Samuel. You can do things like that with him. So I think he adds another dimension. I just want to pour one out for Khalil Shakir because I don't think it's happening for him anytime soon anymore. Unfortunately.
Yeah, that breakout's looking like it died immediately.
Yeah, I think so.
But Preston, do you have any ideas on like the fallout that's going to come from Curtis Samuel going there, or just Shakir's dead? Samuel gets a little bump.
And it's a shame, man. Shakir shows a lot of flashes at the end of the season last year. I really liked him. But Curtis, I don't think Curtis Samuel is just a gadget guy. He showed he can do more last year with Sam Howell. He ended up being Sam Howell's best receiver, favorite target after a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think he could be on the verge of another 1,000-yard season for Curtis Samuel in this offense.
Would it be another? Has Curtis Samuel had 1,000-yard seasons before?
Yeah, he busted one out with Teddy Bridgewater. Remember, it was him, DJ Moore, and what's the boy name?
Robbie Anderson.
Robbie Anderson. Yeah, they all three. Teddy
I
Bridgewater.
thought that was like 800, 900.
I mean,
Teddy-
rushing. I think.
He got 850, but he got 200 rushing, so he got 1,000 scrimmage yards, which is
Okay.
Okay.
wild. Wild.
So it was 850. It was 850 plus the rushing.
Yep,
Debo light.
Okay.
Light.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Light. Yes.
Like imagine the drop in name from Debo to Curtis.
There you go.
That's the drop off. We're talking
I like him.
Kirkland
Yeah, I do too,
brand.
actually.
So,
like
so
that.
just real quick though, last season I was just pulling it up because I was interested. Buffalo ran 71% of their plays from a 3 wide receiver set, which is pretty interesting because that definitely makes both of them viable options in deeper leagues with Samuel and Shakir.
Do you have the data with Knox before Knox got injured?
That's what I was
know they were
saying.
running
That's
a
what
lot
I was
of
saying.
stuff with him.
I was gonna
That's
say
what I was
I
about to
don't. I can figure it out per game, but
Nah, don't worry about it. It's all good.
yeah.
Yeah, Knox was hurt for a good little stretch.
Yep.
Cool. That
What
is
do you
enough.
think? Shakir is kind of a big body, though, isn't he? So, I mean, I wonder if you could put him on the outside. I just like Shakir. I'm sorry. I really like him.
I like him too. His dad's a Marine. Shout out to the Marines. He's 6'1", 190. So like,
Yeah, he's punch up close. Yeah, and I mean they're more than likely going to draft a big body outside wide receiver in the draft too. So let's hope.
AD
We can
Mitchell,
hope. We can hope.
you are a Buffalo Bill.
Let's go though.
That would be electric. All right. Next up, we got Calvin Ridley saving the Titans from just having DeAndre Hopkins and the ghost of Treylon Burks. 4 years, $92 million. That is starting NFL receiver money. Evan, who is the top dog in Tennessee?
Oh, it's still Hopkins. I mean,
Yep.
you look at every metric from Hopkins last year, and it was very clear that he was their guy. You look at any kind of production, any kind of air yards, and anything that really matters, especially in that offense. And then on top of it, you look at what they've done this offseason, and they've added playmakers. They've added to what they're going to do on offense with running back and adding Tony Pollard. They've added Calvin Ridley. So they're obviously trying to add skill position players. If I'm remembering correctly as well, they brought on the offensive line coach from the Browns, I think, that built that offensive line. They signed Lloyd Cushenberry, which I think is a huge signing at center to be able to anchor that offensive line. And if they go tackle, as everybody expects them to do in the draft, I mean, you could be talking about center, left guard, left tackle that's just locked down.
Joe Alt and Peter Skoronski next to each other would it would feed families. It would save lives. Like, I wouldn't have to worry about anything ever again because I could just watch the Titans on Sunday dominate people. It would be so fun to watch.
Think about the splits in running and the differential that you would see
gosh.
left side versus right side. It'd just be nasty.
It'd be so fun. It's like, remember the Titans when they go left side, strong side? It's the same side.
Yep.
Headbutting each other. That's just Skoronski and Joe Alt going at it. Oh my gosh, I love it. Can I be honest for a second? I think Calvin Ridley fits in this system better than he did in Jacksonville's. Like, Jacksonville's trying to use him as kind of like a deep ball threat and like only a boundary guy, like not really letting him separate that much because Kirk is, he's stuck in the role as a slot guy. Now having Ridley and Hopkins, like you're a little more interchangeable and you're able to use them and create chess pieces rather than Ridley, you're going to line up on the right side. You're going to run deep and try to beat your guy. So I love the fit. If Will Levis is good, that's going to be good for everybody. If Will Levis is bad, either Ridley or Hopkins is going to disappoint a lot of people, but their ADP is low enough that it shouldn't really matter that much. Preston, is Will Levis the guy?
Give me this year.
Okay.
Ask me that question after this year.
Okay.
He definitely. He has a cannon. He just can't. His pocket awareness is terrible.
Yep.
That's my own. He gonna get killed out there, man.
Yeah. You know how they say ignorance is bliss? Will Levis is very happy in the pocket. He is just filled with bliss. But,
yeah, and I was looking up. I was trying to look up the target share between DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley last year. Give me a second. My computer's moving. The internet is crazy around here.
all right.
But I don't think they're not too far off as far as targets and their percentage of catches. So I don't. Calvin Ridley in that offense, they didn't flank him out a lot. They didn't motion him. They didn't do any. It was just like you're on the outside. And I watched a lot of Calvin Ridley because I had a lot of Calvin Ridley shares.
Mm-hmm.
They wasn't motioning him or anything. Just you're an outside guy.
Yeah. Important note when comparing Hopkins to Ridley just in a vacuum, the Titans had the third least passing attempts in the league, like over 100 and some change less than the Vikings had. So when we're comparing teams like that, like the volume matters, and I think the Titans are going to unleash Will Levis a little bit more this year. We'll see how it goes. But cool, Mike Williams, the glass man himself.
I was gonna say, Mike, before we move on though, I know we're gonna talk about quarterbacks later, but interestingly enough, if there was a year to take a quarterback, it feels like the Titans have a high enough draft capital right now at 7 to make the push, but they're not going to make the push because there's enough love around Levis. And you look at what they've done this offseason. I mean, if we're talking a team that wins 2 more games this coming season, goes 8-9, I mean, we're talking about a team that's in the early teens picks. I mean, trading up from the early teens to get a quarterback next year, if you figure out Levis really isn't it, is extremely difficult comparatively to coming from 7.
Yeah. No, I'd love to talk about this a little bit more. Like it seems like the way to write the book on how to enter quarterback purgatory. Like you draft a developmental guy that you're not really sure about. You build weapons around him and build a better team. And then you win a couple extra games, but not enough to win anything. So unless Will Levis truly turns into what we want him to be, like this could get really ugly for the Titans for the next couple of years.
Yeah, you have to luck into like the Rams did a few years ago where Stafford came on the block, and like that just usually does not happen. So I'm with you. I think they're playing a fine line right now. And if it like we're talking about, I mean the weapons look a lot better, the offense is gonna be better. Will Levis will likely be better, but he still has a sack rate that's insanely high, negative plays, like that's all there from college too. So same thing we're talking about. He needs to improve. And hopefully it can happen.
You got it, Preston.
They both were targeted 136 times. Ridley has 1 more reception than Hopkins. Just throw that out there. Cool. They both barely grazed over 1,000 yards. So
exciting stuff.
Yeah.
The Hopkins.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. No, it'll be a fun locker room to monitor. I think Ridley's just gonna be making underdog bets, and Hopkins gonna be doing his hair. It'll be good.
Cool. At least he gets to play flanker now, at least, so that's good for Ridley.
Yeah. All right. That's enough Titans talk for now. We got one more receiver to talk about. Mike frickin' Williams, the newest member of the New York Jets, who now have a quarterback coming off of an Achilles tear. Their offensive line has an average age of 30-something. Their running back had an ACL tear 2 years ago. It's basically, I think Garrett Wilson might be the only healthy person on the entire offense. So that's really exciting. I couldn't find the exact contract details. It just said up to $15 million. So if anybody has those, drop them in the comments. But Evan, Mike Williams, perfect wide receiver 2 for the Jets. Are you going to draft him in any of your redraft leagues?
I mean, in the redraft league, sure. I mean, I'll take a shot. Rodgers is known to spread the ball around, and Garrett Wilson consistently sees 140, 150 targets a year. They still have no tight end of consequence, which I think this move pushes me away because originally people keep saying the offensive line needs to be addressed. I think they've actually done a lot this offseason to address the offensive line in getting Moses along with being able to do everything else that they've done to be able to solidify that offensive line. So I think it's a line that's looking up, looking like something that could actually be put together. They signed Tyron Smith as well, which I think is a giant signing for them. John Simpson is meh, but he gets the job done. So yeah, I would absolutely love to see tight end still there, but I was also hoping for a wide receiver, a long-term wide receiver to be there with Garrett Wilson.
Who needs a long-term wide receiver? They need a 1-year fix because that's all Aaron Rodgers has left in the tank.
That's all he got left.
He's got two.
We have a great question from loyal fan Corey Bittner. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but Jesse, who has more games left in the tank, Mike Williams or Aaron Rodgers?
I feel like that's a pretty even. If we had an over under, like I'm going 17.5 for both these guys. Like that's what we're talking about. I'll take Aaron Rodgers because he doesn't have to move. Like he can just sit there and say, Mike Williams has got to run. And if Mike Williams is running, you know he's going to do one of those crazy jumps, land on his back, break his ankle and his hip and everything.
Yeah, Mike Williams does a really impressive job hurting his leg, landing on not his feet. Like I don't think I've ever seen him go up for a ball and come down like a normal human. But Preston, same question to you. Who has more left in the tank, Mike Will or Aaron Rodgers?
It's Aaron Rodgers because of what you just said. I don't think Mike Williams is gonna make it 5 games.
Oh man, that would be heartbreaking if he just signs
what's up,
there.
Corey? And shout out to Corey. Tell him to say what's up, Corey. How you doing?
Yeah, RPG legend, the Godfather himself. But cool. All right, so now we're gonna enter the quarterback carousel. All I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna name a quarterback that is new for the team or is like moving up in the depth chart. And then we can talk a little bit about, is it good for the weapons, bad for the weapons, or indifferent for the weapons? So going in alphabetical order, the newest team with a, quote, new quarterback is the Denver Broncos with Jarrett Stidham. I know we saw a little bit of Stidham last year, but Evan, good, bad, indifferent?
It's time for bed.
Yeah.
It's time for bed.
I heard Alexa.
It's bedtime.
Alexa just said it's bedtime.
Alexa's a loyal listener to the show.
There you go. Yeah, no, it's definitely not good for anybody in Denver. Sean Payton may think that he's a quarterback whisperer and quarterback guru, but he most definitely cannot get it done with Stidham.
Yeah. All great points. However, Jesse, you think the Broncos could move up?
I would
try and get them to McCarthy.
I would be doing everything in my power if I'm Denver. I'm not rolling with that motley crew of quarterback they have to try to support any of those weapons. I mean, it seems like this is just going to be a punt year for them because they are a long ways away and the moves are making. But yeah, if you can get a quarterback now, because next year's class is TBD to say the least. So yeah, if they have a chance to do that, go get a quarterback, Denver, because y'all need one very much so.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7 teams fighting over 4 quarterbacks this year. Giant trade just went down in one of the RPG leagues that is we're going to have to talk about to close the show. But
also real quick on that Denver Broncos news, I mean, trying to say that they're going to trade up is easy to say, but what are they really going to trade up with? Because they don't have 2 first-round picks. They don't have a second-round pick. They have the 312, 421, 51, 510, 512. I mean, do you really think Sean Payton's going to be allowed to trade 3 first-round picks to get up to 4, 5? Yeah, I don't think ownership's going to sign off on it.
No.
And if that's the case, it's going to be really hard for Denver to be able to push all the way up to single digits, top 5 pick.
Yeah,
I think it's much more likely to end up with Penix or Bonix.
Yeah,
as opposed to
yes. Yes,
see-
very much so.
Whichever one of them falls to the second round. Cool.
Preferably Penix. Get Penix.
Speaking of a team that could get a guy in the draft, Las Vegas Raiders. It's the battle of the fiercest mustaches. It is my heart and my heart at war. It's either Gardner Minshew or Aiden O'Connell as we stand now. Evan, what is more likely that one of these quarterbacks on the roster plays 10 games or somebody not on the roster plays 5? Talking about a rookie.
I'm gonna go 10 games.
Okay.
I think AOC did not look good last year, but did he look serviceable? Is the real question. And I think the answer to that is yes, he looked serviceable. And can serviceable be enough to not let the fans drive themselves away in that front runner town of Las Vegas? I mean, we know everybody goes there for gambling. So, is football really going to be a main stick when you could be down on the strip, gambling, getting fed free drinks? You got to keep the fans' attention in a town like that. And after that defensive signing, I mean, I think they're just going to be trying to play defensive football and hope that they don't screw it up on offense.
Is your whole point that Aiden O'Connell is safe because they can do things other than watch the team?
No, I'm saying that
Gave it a lot of thought, didn't you?
AOC and Minshew are already on the team, and drafting a second-round quarterback isn't going to be enough to separate between those two guys. They're going to think that it's a waste of a pick, and drafting a first-round quarterback, while it would be the Raiders of past, is not the Raiders of now. Mm-hmm. And you got to be able to keep the attention of the fans long enough to be able to get to 2025 when they're most likely going to draft their quarterback.
Yeah, I could see this team being big sellers halfway through the season, get Devontae Adams out of there, maybe get Jacoby Myers out of there, like start selling any vet that they don't see plans for in 2025 and 2026, and then push in all the chips for QB1.
Their front seven could be pretty legit though on defense.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I will be watching Raiders games purely for their defense.
Yep.
But all right, moving to the AFC East in all of their glory. New England Patriots. Mac Jones is gone. Bailey Zappe's in. Preston, our resident Patriots fan, who are they taking, or who do you want them to take in the draft?
I like JJ McCarthy in this offense. I would like to see JJ McCarthy there or either Drake May. I don't want no Jaden Daniels. I don't want no running quarterback with a mediocre arm in my offense. I want somebody with a cannon and can read defenses and can throw people open. I think JJ McCarthy would be a good fit for us. Or either Drake May.
Okay.
But I do like Brissett for this 1 year, regardless of who we get. I think they should sit behind Brissett this year because I do like Jacoby. Jacoby's a good quarterback.
Okay.
So sit behind Jacoby for a year.
So just
sit there. I done thought this. I done thought all. I'm a Patriots fan. I done thought all this through. Or I would like to see them go out here and spend that third on one of those top receivers, drop down and hopefully Penix or Bo Nix fall to us and sit behind Jacoby for a year. Because we got like the 32nd pick, 36th pick or something like that in the second round.
Yeah. Okay. I would love for that to work out for you. The last one concerns me because if they're not ready when they're 25, when will they be ready?
True.
I hear that. Some crusty rookies.
Yeah, there's some old crusty water. Yeah, you're right about that.
But I would ask, like we were going to say, better or worse, indifferent. We're all in agreement. Jacoby is better than whatever was out there last year. Whatever rookie they draft is probably better than whatever they roll out. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. That's enough. Ooh, wow. That was tough to get through.
Let's go red, white, and blue.
Yeah, America, number one. Back-to-back World War champs, baby. All right. We've got a new quarterback for New York that I want to talk about. Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. Recently recovered from an Achilles tear. Do we think that 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers coming off an Achilles tear will be an above-average quarterback for the league? Anybody can take it. Yes?
No.
Yep. Top 16 season.
Okay. Evan, give me an argument for yes.
Top 16 season, as we talked about in overall running back rankings, Brees Hall is a incredible receiving running back. They're most likely going to be drafting another weapon at some point. Just signed Mike Williams, can be able to play for half a season. Still have Garrett Wilson and his 150 plus targets a season. And if you actually have a quarterback that can put the ball where he needs to with Garrett Wilson, could be an absolute monster season. If they get Brock Bowers or some other wide receiver in the second, you're looking at an offense that is going to have plenty of playmakers. They still have an elite defense, which means they should be able to get the ball in short field situations. And you put short field situations with Aaron Rodgers, and he's going to score points.
Those are all very good explanations. So, Preston, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, you just changed my mind.
All right.
Good job,
cool.
baby.
We're all on board. Yeah.
Good job, buddy. Yeah, you
it'll
just
be
changed
good.
my mind.
Aaron Rodgers, even at this age, like there's 5 or 6 teams that we know are not going to be good at quarterback. And then you think that Aaron Rodgers, with the weapons and the situation that he's in, he's going to be able to put it together. I don't know if like a Super Bowl run is in the works, but it wouldn't super surprise me.
I mean, it's still an elite defense. Whatever anybody says, I mean, we're talking a top 5 defense with probably a top 3 secondary in the NFL. Whenever you have an elite defense with a quarterback that maybe it's heresy to say that Rodgers at this point in his career is a game manager. But when you have a quarterback that can still sling it and knows how to win football games, that's a lethal combo.
With a gang of weapons.
Going from whatever the heck was happening last season to at least a capable, competent quarterback is going to just change people's opinions on New York forever. I'm excited to see how it goes. But next up, so we'll go to the AFC North real quick. They signed Russell Wilson for the veteran minimum, and Justin Fields is a Pittsburgh Steeler. It's a good time to be a Steelers fan. I'm fired up. Can't wait for us to go 10-6-1 and get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Cool. I can't talk about this because my heart won't let me be unbiased. Evan, talk me through what this impact of Russell Wilson specifically will do for each of the weapons.
Well, I mean, Russell Wilson's a deep ball threat, and what did George Pickens love to do? You put those two things together, and it makes me really think that he's going to be the Courtland Sutton for that offense. Courtland Sutton to Russ, like he was over in that offense. So, yeah, I'm really excited for Pickens. Do I think that they're going to go a wide receiver in the first or second round, though? Yeah, I very much think that they're going to go wide receiver in the first and second round.
Yep.
Arthur Smith loves to have play action. He also loves to screw over anybody that's not the wide receiver one, and even the wide receiver one at times in his offenses. So, yeah, it's going to be high volatility. But if anybody has hope in this offense, it's definitely Pickens. Russ thrives in play action. I mean, Fields thrives in play action as well. So, yeah, pushing the ball downfield, it should be a shot offense, which should be a lot of fun.
Yep. Great best ball volatility. Would be really exciting with Russell Wilson. Important note, Arthur Smith loves his tight end too, so it's Darnell Washington season. Hope you're all on board for it. But, Jesse, walk me through. So let's pretend Russ gets kicked out of preseason. It's Justin Fields to start the year. What does that do?
Boy. Talk about volatility. You are going to see some fireworks and then no scoring for a whole quarter. So it's going to be wild with the Justin Fields experience. I would be even more worried for the pass catchers than that because Justin Fields is taking more rushing attempts on the offense, and they're already going to be one of the highest rushing offenses in the NFL with how they're shifting, right? It's going to be Pickens. I mean, maybe Freiermuth is a thing. The thing with Russell Wilson is he completely ignores the middle of the field. Like, it doesn't exist with him. So with Fields, you'll at least have some fun like quarters where he'll put up 28 and then maybe not score the rest of the game. Like, that's how that's going to go for Fields. It's going to be a blast. But, it's at least interesting, right? And that's something we couldn't say about Pickett. There was no enjoyment. So at least you'll have fireworks. And, no matter what everyone else says, there will be some entertainment. So I do have a lot of question marks about the offense. But, Arthur Smith, he can help. He helped rework Ryan Tannehill's career. If he can help with Russell Wilson and or Justin Fields, like, there is something there to build with. And that's what we got. We still got a decent defense. You guys will be fighting for playoffs. Like, that's how it's going to go.
Yeah, it'll be fun. My brother-in-law compared the Steelers offense to Iowa football, which it wasn't even wrong. Like, it was very comparable. But Preston, gun to your head, who plays more games for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Justin Fields or Russell Wilson this year?
Russ Wilson.
Okay,
Russ
we're
Wilson.
not friends anymore.
Mm-hmm.
While we're on the Steelers here real quick, let's just bring up some of the PFF pass blocking grades. Just for
Oh, no.
Oh,
no.
Suamalo at 66.4, which on the side I was running the data, and 63 is about the average in the league.
Above average, baby.
So, only one on the team that was above average in pass blocking. Then we got, Broderick Jones at a 47.6, which is definitely a liability.
He still had braces and was a rookie. Like, let's cut him some slack.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's go to the other tackle position in Dan Moore. And,
yeah, he's an abomination.
And talk about how bad that is at a 42.1 pass blocking grade. So whoever's the quarterback better be able to take hits. Because they're probably going to get absolutely slaughtered back there.
You know who can take hits? Okay.
Just as I was going to say, you started playing that. I was like, "Don't you put Justin Fields back up there, Mike?" And then just
that's the last time I'll do that for at least 10 minutes. Let's move on to the Chicago Bears, who unfortunately decided to move on from Justin Fields. Their current depth chart says Tyson Bagent. Do we think Tyson Bagent is the starter?
It's even on the roster week 1.
Yeah.
No,
it's the killer. I hope they do the same thing the Jags did when it was like Gardner Minshew and Trevor Lawrence. And they're like, we're going to have a quarterback battle. It's like, no, you're not. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
Let's be serious. But what does Caleb Williams do to this offense? Evan, are you think it's trending positive, trending negatively, or do you think because of the Keenan Allen addition, like the whole offense can get better, but they kind of cannibalize each other?
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole offense is going to be better with Caleb. People seem to be concerned about Jaden Daniels and Caleb and their sack rate and everything that's been floating around there. But you look at what Poles has done with that offense, and he's put some playmakers in place. He's put guys that you can dump the ball off to, even though in college Caleb didn't like to dump the ball off. But still, you look at Braxton Jones and Tevin Jenkins, both being above average on the left side of the line. You look at Darnell Wright coming into his own on the right side. Nate Davis was an absolute abomination of a free agent signing. So not a huge fan there. So there's a little bit of work to do at, center and guard for the team. But overall, it's a better offense than I think people realize.
Yeah, I think trending up generally, if you just put a competent quarterback back there that's not going to make mistakes and not turn the ball over 100 times a game. Like, maybe Caleb Williams is still the scrambler that makes all sorts of mistakes, but it could be the mystery box. Could be anything. So, Jesse, trending up?
I mean, yeah, you got to say it's trending up with like the issues they had with Fields. That as good as we want him to be, there were serious issues with that offense, and the defense came. It was a top 5 defense half of the year, so they were like competent. They needed the offensive boost, and this is what Caleb brings. He brings you a better passing profile coming in the league without all of the 3 years of negativity of Fields. So you're starting fresh. You're bringing in new weapons. Like as much as we clown on DeAndre Swift for his issues, he's a plus in the passing game. You have, Keenan Allen being a plus, like he can live with the intermediate. Then you got Cole Kmet kind of doing that, and then DJ Moore. So like this is the best, probably one of the better situations we've seen number 1 pick walk into in a long, long time overall.
Yeah, I can't think. Preston, can you think of a better situation in a while?
No, he's stepping into an awesome situation. I feel bad for my man Roshan.
Oh yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, but yeah, he's definitely walking into a great situation. He has a veteran, 2 vets that can get open. That's like a kid in the candy store to a young quarterback.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah,
All right, we got 2 more teams we got to get through, and then we're going to break down this trade real quick and then roll out. So Minnesota Vikings, they have Sam Darnold. If they cannot, let's pretend they don't get up and get J.J. McCarthy. Let's pretend that doesn't work for them. Jesse, how many pass attempts is Sam Darnold going to have this year?
I will say less than 200 because there's going to a point in time where Sam Darnold has a Sam Darnold game and Justin Jefferson's just going to be like, just trade me right now. So, like, if I'm Justin Jefferson, that red flag is going up. I'm like, if you start this man, get me off this roster. We've seen Sam Darnold his entire career. The red flags are still there. We're at, like, start number 100 almost his entire career. He has not given us enough to, like, be competent. And, though, I mean, it's still a good passing offense. Like, they have the weapons there. So, if you're going to roll with Darnold, it just feels like you're wasting a year, honestly. So, I'm not too thrilled with that.
Cool. Preston, if they do get McCarthy, sit him behind Darnold for a couple of games? Or how long do you think it takes before they scream?
No, throw him in there.
Yeah. Okay.
No, you don't want nobody sitting behind Darnold. Who's he learning from? Who he learning from?
he might catch the ghosts. But all right, Evan, that's enough Sam Darnold for a lifetime. Let's hope they go get McCarthy. Let's hope that we can see him sling it because I love the chaos and I just want people to be really angry when JJ McCarthy's good. P.S. Go check out the JJ McCarthy film study on the channel.
All right. Wait. If Sam Darnold starts this year for them and plays all the games, he's going north of 500 attempts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, they will throw it with anybody.
Yeah, they will absolutely sling it. So
especially with that coach.
Clear.
Yeah, Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah,
I don't think he's allowed to run it. Like it'll be 3rd and 1. He's like, all right, 4 verts, let's go.
Yeah. And let's remember Hawkinson's out for a sizable chunk of the season, which means you're left with Jefferson and Addison. And frankly, there's really just one guy getting targeted in that offense.
Don't forget Aaron Jones can catch. Don't forget Aaron Jones gonna catch about 50 balls.
Sure, he can catch out of the backfield.
Commanders, real quick, trend up. We think that the rookie that they draft is going to be better than Howell.
Yes.
I didn't think this was going to be a conversation. I thought we were just going to say yes and move on.
Well, will the offense be better with Cliff over Bieniemy?
Yes.
I think you really think so?
Yes.
They've already said they're not running his air raid offense, which I thought was really interesting because that's Cliff Kingsbury's thing. So I'm like, what offense are they running? That's my whole question mark with it.
And that's the whole question mark that I have as well, Jesse. Like, I have no clue what to expect out of this offense, and that scares the living daylights out of me.
Yeah. Well,
he's definitely got to get a little more creative than what he did in Arizona. Just 4 receivers, spreading 4 receivers all the time. That was killing me. I was like, do something else, man.
Just post Terry up next. There you go.
Come on, do something else. 4 receiver spreads. Go.
It was 4 spread. They would run a post, a corner, and a dump off. And Kyler would read 1 to 2 to dump. And that was every play.
So bad.
It was electric.
No, I hope he learned something.
Commanders are a mystery box. I did want to go back to the Vikings real quick and talk about specifically Justin Jefferson. I know I said we got to get through this, but part of Justin Jefferson's appeal has been the insane passing volume and how efficient Kirk Cousins has been. Are we still taking Justin Jefferson as a top 3 receiver in redraft this year?
He's in the conversation. Like he's so like you saw his stats last year without Kirk Cousins. He was actually better without Kirk Cousins. Like that's just how talented he is. But like case in point, I don't expect him to have this ceiling like the giant 1 overall. But he's in the top 5 for me. Like I can't knock him too far. He's just too good of a receiver. It's just he's going to be doing the DeAndre Hopkins thing where he gets 160 targets and it's inefficient, but he's still just a monster.
And that's exactly what I was about to bring up. Is as long as he gets north of 150 targets, I have no issues with it.
So
But
no
will
concern
he?
about Addison taking a step forward,
That's
the
what
offense
goes-
being worse. Like no concerns about any of those things, or just little
No.
concerns. And you're going to draft him as like wide receiver 5.
No, I mean they're going to try and get as much out of him as they can before his contract's up. Especially if they don't have a quarterback, they're going to franchise tag him twice, most likely, to keep him around for those 2 extra seasons. So they're going to want to try and make him happy. Eventually, get a quarterback. Until then, they're going to want to feed him the ball because he's going to be asking for the ball.
Okay.
The Sam Darnold
You're on the clock.
Targets are going to be insane.
You're on the clock. CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson.
CeeDee
On
Lamb,
the
not
clock.
close.
No, Justin Jefferson, because I think that offensive line took a major step back in Dallas, and I think Dak's actually going to have less time to throw it, which is going to cause more of an issue than people think.
Yeah,
Less time to throw means more quick slants to CeeDee Lamb. Problem
Yeah.
solved.
We're not playing this game.
He's the hot read, baby.
We're not playing this game,
He
Mike.
should be the only read of that offense. Don't get out of here with the freaking Brandon Cooks targets, man. Just give the ball to CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah. Please
Oh,
get
well,
tight ends off my screen.
I would go CeeDee Lamb myself.
There's no Hawkinson for 80% of the season, fantasy season at least.
Yeah.
And I think that plays a huge role in the amount of targets Justin Jefferson's going to get. And it's going to be potentially 170, 175.
Yeah. It's going to be frustrating, but he's going to have a massive number of targets.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. We got a trade to break down, and then we're going to close it out. This just went down in RPG Nights, which is one of the leagues that is run by the RPG squad. So it was DeAndre Hopkins, Christian McCaffrey, and the 107 for Josh Jacobs and Justin Jefferson. Preston, I'll let you lead us off. Which side do you like and why?
At 107. I like the Josh Jacobs and Justin Jefferson side. Josh Jacobs is going to get off in this Green Bay offense. I know there's a lot of doubters out there that say he isn't, but I like Jordan Love, and I love Josh Jacobs running behind that line. And Justin Jefferson, like you said, he's going to get 170 targets this year. I think he's better than anybody at 107 you're going to get, because you're probably not going to get a top quarterback. Probably going to get one of those other receivers like Rome or Neighbors around that. Which I don't know. I don't know, because I brought up Neighbors. I don't know, man. I ask somebody else. I'm I got to sit back and think about these things. I don't know about that one.
I got you.
That's kind of tough, man.
Jesse, other guest.
That's kind of tough.
So Josh Jacobs never seen below 262 touches in a season. I get it. The efficiency fell off a cliff last year, but like he's going to get every shot possible. And it's more than likely it's a 1-year deal where they have team options to keep kicking forward. So he's not going to see all 4 years, but I would expect 2 years. Like I'm going to take the 107 plus like CMC. That doesn't even get me Justin Jefferson. Like you have to give me more to get Justin Jefferson off my team. Like that's how valuable he is. CMC is aging out. So I want that side. And then it's like D-Hop, like cool, another old guy. He doesn't really move the needle. So give me the stud Jefferson and then Josh Jacobs, who's just going to see a ton of volume this year.
Evan, any conflicting opinions?
No, I mean, I want the Justin Jefferson, Josh Jacobs. Give me the 4 J's in that deal. I'll take the quad J side because I think there's more that you can do. If Jefferson is struggling and you realize, okay, I do need to get off of him to be able to get some production now, because Josh Jacobs is very much a production now, win now type of piece. So CMC, obviously, whoever's on the left side, to me, they're saying, okay, we're pushing in, we're going for it. And I wouldn't expect them to make the 107 pick. I would fully expect them to trade the 107 for some kind of veteran when draft season comes around. So I think that's definitely another thing to play into this consideration. But I think Justin Jefferson at the trade deadline, I can be able to use him to be able to pair off, to get down to another wide receiver on a team that is realizing, okay, I'm not making the playoffs. Let me just get a solidified, stable asset for next year.
Yeah. I agree with everything you guys are saying. It's the 4 J's for me as well. Preston, Jesse, thank you so much for coming on. Evan, you are required to be here. It's in your contract. But Preston, one more time, you want to tell the people where to find you?
Yeah, you can find my content on Fantasy and Frames website, along with a bunch of other great writers and content creators. We're all doing big things over there. You can also catch my work on LWSOS, Last Word on Sports. Write articles on there as well. Love you guys, man.
Thanks for coming on,
Evan,
Preston.
Evan, we still got some business to take care of.
All right, there'll be trade talks after this.
Mike.
Yeah,
You too, Mike.
I'm waiting on a counter, brother. But Jesse, tell the people where to find you.
Yeah, shout out to the guys at Fantasy and Frames. I love the work you guys do over there. So it was a pleasure meeting you, Preston. I thank you for guys having me on the RPG podcast. Like, it was a pleasure to finally chop it up with y'all. Yeah, you can find me. It says right there below, Fantasy Football Universe. That's where all of my work and the rest of the crew at the Fantasy Football Universe is. So that's where you can check us all out.
Word. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Y'all take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.